Hey, everybody. How are you all doing? I didn't schedule this live because, as you all know, I don't schedule lives. I just go live when I feel like it. Anyway, I just wanted to touch base with everybody, see how everybody's doing, and to let you all know I'm hoping I'm up for it, which is a big of a stretch that I'm going to do an Elvis night on the 16th. So that will be in 5 days because today is the 11th of August, 2024, and it's a Sunday. Um, what can I talk about? What can I talk about? Okay, a few things that I've seen and a few things that I've noticed as well is that a lot of people are saying stuff about that Gypsy Rose chick, and I'm just disgusted by her because of the fact that she cries victim every chance she gets. If someone is hello to that one person who's listening, if she is being talked to in a way she doesn't like, or she feels as though that she is someone's having a go at her or something. Have anyone that's watched the Gypsy Rose documentaries or whatever she's done, she plays the mother card. Oh, this is how my mother made me feel, and all that sort of shit. You know what I mean? And it's just like, but hang on a second. When you turn around and say that you didn't want a baby because you wanted, excuse me, you wanted your nose job. Okay, fair enough. You're saying that you're not, what was it, ready enough to donate your time. Now, I'm 42 years of age. I do not have kids. I do not have stepkids. I don't have kids in my life at all. At the end of the day, like I've got friends who have got kids, and that's awesome. You know what I mean? Like each to their own. I've never wanted kids, so it comes down to the fact that I either have kids and have them go through what I did as a kid, and am still going through, or I choose not to have kids. And plus, I haven't found a guy that I actually want a kids with. So no. Um, there are people out there who have children that they make amazing parents. They do. Like there's people out there that would go to the ends of the earth to protect their kids. And I'm pretty sure that if I was ever, I'll say this because I didn't ever want kids. If I was ever unfortunate enough to have kids, I don't mean that in a disrespectful manner. I just simply mean that since the age of about 10, I've always said I don't want kids. So, but if I was ever in that situation where I was to have a child, I am pretty sure that I'd be capable enough to protect that child. But but the thing is, that I personally, and that my personal opinion really. Hello to the other person who's come in. Hello, you're not saying much, so I'll just say hello to the two people that are not listening. Thank you for being here. Um, I personally don't think that Gypsy Rose has actually lived a life enough for herself to be there thinking that she wants to bring a child into this world. And the thing that, let's just say this baby does turn out to be Ken's because it's a toss up between her husband, Ryan, or her new flame. That was your previous flame before Ryan came into the picture, Ken. Now, let's just say Ken is the father. Okay. Now, that's great for her because, but the thing is, I personally don't think she has lived enough of a life since being out of jail to be able to bring a child into this world. And to refer to spending time with your child as donating is donating your time. I think that's actually quite disgusting to refer it to that. You give your child attention regardless of how much time it is. Even if it's 2 o'clock in the morning and your baby or your child is screaming in pain, you go check on your child. You don't go, oh no, I'm not going to donate my time this morning. No. Hey Jody, how you doing, sweetheart? You know what I mean? Oh, that just made me sick. And the thing that also makes me sick as well is the fact that when now Aussie True Crime played the recordings. She couldn't show the videos because of copyright infringement, and she could get a strike on her channel. But she played the recordings. I think I'm pretty sure they're still up. The recordings of the life after lockup with Gypsy Rose, because let's just waste taxpayers' money and money in general, where that money could go towards like a homeless shelter or a shelter to fund women and men who have gone through domestic violence. Let's not put it towards that. Let's put it towards giving money to a woman who assisted in her mother's unaliving. I hate having to say that because it's annoying. But anyway, long story short of things, though, it's interesting how in that she was so eager and wanting and all that sort of shit to get the morning after pill with Ryan, but then with Ken, it's just like, like I personally think, this is just my personal opinion, and if anyone doesn't like it, that's their opinion too. Everyone's entitled to their own opinion, and me being here, I'm entitled at the moment. It comes down to the fact that I personally think that if a woman, and I'm saying a woman that's born a woman, no disrespect to anyone out there when I say that, but every woman out there who is in jail for a crime, such as, I'll say the word, if I get striked, I get striked. If you're in jail for murder and you are a woman and you are released or anything like that, I personally think, okay, there's this thing called the Implanon, which I need to get mine replaced this week. The Implanon, and what happens is it goes in your arm, and it is apparently, according to what I've heard, it's 99% a contraception. Now, or the Mirena or the injection or whatever the it is, I personally think that for the first 3 years after Gypsy would have been released, I personally think that she should have been on some kind of contraception. I don't mean that to be disrespectful to her. Like, if she carries this baby to term and she ends up being a great mother, then so be it. But I personally think, considering how much her life was up until the unaliving of her mother, but at the same time, we don't know if they worked as a team to scam people. So, we don't know. Because Gypsy Rose isn't likely to come out and go, yeah, I worked with my mother to scam people. She's not going to ever come out and say that, because if she does, straight back to jail she goes. But at the same time, she might not. She's gotten away with so much crap she's done since she's been out. It's unfucking real. But like I said, if she carries the baby to term and she ends up being a good mum, great. But I don't see it happening. I personally think she should have lived a life for a while. I personally think that just maybe Ken was ready to walk again, and then she mysteriously fell pregnant. Now, for all the injections and all these supposed, according to who is it, Chrissy, her stepmom, she had hundreds of surgeries. Now, I don't believe that. I'm sorry if I'm being arrogant, but I don't. But no, I just think personally she should have lived a life a little while, been released, and actually not started a social media circus on her. But that's just my opinion. I personally do not like her. I don't hate her, because hate's a strong word, as my mother used to always say. Hate's a very strong word. I just dislike her a lot. And I think personally from, let's just say she was a willing participant in what her mother was doing by scamming organizations. The fact that she apparently got, what was it, 2 or 3 wishes? Like, what the actual F? Like, how did she get that? Like, there are kids out there every single fucking day battling cancer, battling other things that they're not going to come back from. You know what I mean? And it's so fucking sad that you can't tell me that if she had the opportunity, she could have told somebody what her mother was doing to her. But then she worries about how her mother would have treated her. She ran away once and her mother came and got her, and then apparently then she puts it as chained her to the bed and all that sort of shit. Now, here's the thing I find quite ironic, though, is that the night before Dee Dee was unalived, um, the last word she said to her daughter was, "Don't hurt me." Now, I don't understand why Dee Dee would say that if Gypsy hadn't hurt her before. Like, Gypsy had used a like shot at her mother, but it turns out it was what do you call it, a BB gun or something that didn't cause, as far as I know, didn't cause any permanent damage to Dee Dee, but that should have been taken into account, but it wasn't. A lot of things that have happened that have been released, like all these people now, like her dad, her stepmother, her brother's actually, in my personal opinion, from what I can gather, I might be wrong because keep in mind, I'm from Australia, so he could have spoken out by now. Her stepbrother, is the only one that is not actually having anything to do with this, like this circus, as I like to call it. So I like him. But you think about all these people that are now coming out and speaking out. Dee Dee's sister, right, which was Gypsy's auntie, obviously. She's coming out and saying something. Fucking the dad, the stepmom, as far as I know, the stepsister's not saying anything. But all these people from Gypsy's past are now coming forward and telling their stories because, why not? Let's tell a story where we had 8 years or 7.5 or whatever the fuck it was she was in jail for. We had all that time to come out with a story about Gypsy Rose, about Dee Dee, about both of them. But no, wait, there was no money to be made then. We're going to wait till Gypsy's released from jail and wait till she does something in the press or whatever, and then we're going to tell our story because it might actually be worth money. Like, oh, Gypsy's auntie, she was related to Dee Dee. Oh, and then you can ask questions and all this sort of stuff. But the question you can always ask, and it can lead into more, is what was Dee Dee like as a child? Did she ever show any of these things, like, or you know what? I don't actually know what I'm saying there, but you know what I mean? Like, they can ask one question that could lead into different directions throughout. You know what I mean? So it's actually really quite fucking messed up if you ask me. Like, I personally only tell very few people my deepest secrets. A lot of people don't know them and a lot of people will never know them. And it comes down to that if you know one of my secrets, then it means I trust you with my life because, most of my deep, dark secrets are part of my life. So, I'm not about to go and do, like, the thing, I just don't understand how she can make money like she has and be comfortable knowing that every single time she goes and spends even $1 of that money she makes, her mother lost her life because of it. So, or there is a friend of hers who I can't remember his name. So if anyone in chat can tell me what the boy's name is that's in jail that did this unaliving for Gypsy, please let me know because I can't remember his name. But I hope there is some sort of like moment in her life where, hey Julie, how you doing, sweetheart? I just hope that there's a part of her that every time, like I said, every single time she spends even $1 of that money she makes from this documentary, or even a quarter or whatever it is, whatever she spends on whatever, I hope one day she looks back on that and she feels fucking guilty. I hope there's a moment in her mind where, like I said, every time she hands over money to buy food, buy herself a drink, pay for her sister to fill up her car with gas, whatever. I hope there will be a day where she feels fucking guilty for that. I really, 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 really hope that. Now, I don't wish any ill health to her. I wish her to live a great life and all that sort of shit. But the fact, yeah, he sort of agrees with me. I just hope that one day she wakes up to herself and realizes that there is a boy, I'm going to call him a boy, sorry, but I will, a boy in jail facing the rest of his life behind bars because of something she convinced him to do. Now, she can turn around and say, no. If she was ever a victim of her mother, she ceased to be a victim. In other words, she stopped being a victim the moment she started messaging. I wish I could remember his name. I feel really bad that I don't remember his name. But whenever she was messaging, I'll call him Jack, just for now. When she was messaging Jack, unless someone can correct the name of it, I'd really appreciate it. The moment she started plotting fuck it. The moment she started planning the murder of her mother, she stopped being a victim. And I might come across as a total heartless bitch saying that. And if I do, fine, I'm a bitch. But you think about it, okay? It's like, okay, I'm a victim of domestic violence. So that means I'm going to get into BDSM because I want to be smacked around. Hell fucking no. I heard a story a few days ago of a person who, as far as I know, used to be a part of my brother's life. And he claims all these things happened to him, but then he turns around and goes that he wants to, thank you. Thank you, Julie. You're a legend. Nicholas. And yeah, so you know what I mean? Like there's people out there who tried domestic violence and nothing ever happens to them, but they're believed. Now, I've been a victim of domestic violence, not as of late, but one way or another, violence has somehow been a part of my life. Thank you, Julie. You're a sweetheart for finding out that for me. Thank you. I just didn't want to say the wrong name. So the person I was referring to when I said Jack, I meant Nicholas Godejohn? Godejohn? I hope I'm saying that right. Nicholas Godejohn. The moment Gypsy started plotting the murder of her mother with Nicholas, she ceased to be a victim. Because if she knew right from wrong, she didn't, obviously, because, you know, she went along with her mother's bullshit. But she planned that. And if you are going to be a victim of anything, you're not going to want to go and then cause physical harm to somebody else. As I said before, as a victim of domestic violence, I would never, no matter how much people piss me off, I wouldn't even want to, like, hit someone. Like when I lived with my younger brother, as you all know him as Andy, when we lived together, I was just so frustrated and pissed off at him that I punched him in the shoulder. Right? And I still, to this day, feel fucking guilty for that. I didn't actually realize I hurt him until he told me later down the track. So, but my point being though is that I would never ever lay a hand on someone ever again. I know that, and I've stuck to that for more than 20 years. But moving on from that, you claim you're a victim of what your mother did to you, but you knew what she was doing was wrong. So how is it that in Gypsy's mind, she thought that it would be acceptable to then plot and plan and carry out the murder of her mother? I'm sorry if that's you know, me being a total bitch thinking like that, but you don't then be considered a victim of something and then go plan something worse. At the end of the day, Dee Dee was going, oh, cool, thanks, Julie. You know, you're planning the murder of your mother. That is completely different from what your mother was supposedly doing to you. Everything Gypsy wanted, Gypsy got. And her mother saw to that. Gypsy wanted to go to Disneyland. Gypsy made it happen twice. Gypsy wanted this, Gypsy wanted that. Dee Dee made it happen. Now, a lot of things that may have happened that Gypsy had no control over, but you think about it this way, she knew she could walk. So how does this sound, Gypsy? At any point in the time when your mother was saying all these things that you couldn't stand up, you couldn't walk, you couldn't this, you couldn't that, why didn't you try and prove that your mother was a fraudster and then at any point just stand up and walk away? Because you were in on it too. And you can turn around and say you weren't because you were. Because you think about it this way, Dee Dee's dying of complications from diabetes. The jig's going to be up if Dee Dee dies, right? Gypsy and the whole world that knows of Gypsy is led to believe that she can't walk, she can't this, she can't that, she needs a feeding tube, she needs this, she needs that, she needs these kinds of glasses, she needs a breathing machine, she needs all this crap, right? But here's the thing though, if you just stood up, ripped off the breathing things and says, I'm actually fine, what could your mum have done in front of all those people when you came across and you just did that? What's the worst that your mother could have done? Because and the people that are referring to as Munchausen by proxy, I'm starting to think that's actually a really bad term to use, because at the end of the day, maybe Gypsy when she was younger probably did have breathing issues. Okay, I'm 42 years old. I do not remember what my breathing was like at the age of 3. But somehow, some way, Gypsy remembers. You know what I mean? So it's like, fuck off. But anyway, excuse me, getting a bit sick again. It just makes me very angry how there are some people out there who thought that Gypsy, and still is, a victim. If she's a victim, every single person out there who's gone through worse is not a victim. Okay? We're not victims. If you've been through domestic violence, you're not a victim. But Gypsy Rose was. No. I'm sorry if I'm, like I said, I'm sorry, guys, if I'm being arrogant. These are just my opinions. So please feel free to agree or disagree. And if you disagree, don't think you're going to be kicked out of my chat, because you're not. I want people to disagree with me if they feel like I'm being rude or wrong or anything like that. I want that in my channel. I want you to do it in a productive way, but not in a heartless, mean, attacking way. Just say, well, I disagree with that, and this is why. You know what I mean? Do not feel as though that you're going to be kicked out of my channel because you have a difference of opinion than mine, because I don't operate my channel like that. I welcome other people's opinions. I welcome them with open arms, so to speak. But no, I just think personally she just needs to go away. And everybody else, like, if you want to hear about Gypsy Rose, that's fine. I'll always throw in my 10 cents worth in, as they say. But like I said, she stopped being a victim the moment she sent Nicholas that message saying, can you kill my mother for me? The moment those words were typed on her computer and her little fingers went over and hit send or enter or whatever it is you do on a computer these days, I don't know. The moment that was hit and sent, Gypsy Rose Blanchard stopped being a victim. And I'm sorry if I'm saying that so meanly, but you plot the you plan the killing of someone, whether it's just a few seconds or over a few weeks or a few days, a few months, a few years, whatever. The moment you start planning that, yes, exactly, Julie. I was trying to articulate that before, we just put it in perfect words. Pretty sad when your claim to fame is having your mother killed. I couldn't agree with that more, even if I was to write that myself. Well worded, Julie. Definitely well worded. Because at the end of the day, I agree with that 110 million %. If that's your claim to fame and that's your meal ticket, then what the fuck is going on with the paparazzi these days, where they think people like? But the thing is, though, people are interested in this story. I'm interested in it because I want something to bitch about. In all honesty, you know what I mean? Like, I can't stand her. Exactly right. Exactly right. She could have walked out at any time and stood up for herself, but she never did because she loved the fact that she was getting all these things. And I just find it interesting though that she's, like you said, her claim to fame is the killing of her mother. My mum, I love her to bits, but there was a very, 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 very long time where my mother and I didn't get along very well. We fought like cats and dogs. We couldn't stand being in the same room with each other for longer than a minute. But the most amazing thing is with me, and like I've had a lot of shit happen to me in my life, but I'm not about to go and unalive someone. But my point with that is the fact that, like I said, my mother and I, we didn't get along when I was a kid. We didn't get along, total opposites and stuff. But over the last few years, we've become close, and we're good, as far as I'm aware. We're good friends now. You know what I mean? And as well as mother and daughter. And I feel as though that I can talk to my mum about anything and it's great. Whereas when I was a kid, there was like no, there was no way that was going. Hey, Aunt Diane, how you doing, sweetheart? Welcome to my chat. I don't think I've seen you here before, but I may have. But if I haven't, welcome. Um, I don't see how somebody can write. She's written a book for crying out loud. I think she's even written 2 or 3 books. Like I've been wanting to have my book published for ages about my poetry. I get rejection letter after rejection fucking letter. This little thing, I'll call her a little thing because she's shorter than me. This little thing unalives her mother and she gets book deals, she gets TV deals, she gets fucking all this shit. And like I said before, for those just tuning in, how is it that when she was and still is married to Ryan, as she mentioned, she got a little bit frisky under the sheets with Ryan. There was a mishap. Condoms weren't used because why would they? Oh, fuck no. And as soon as she found out, that's what happened basically. Like, how can you not tell? But anywho, she was at the drugstore, as they call them in America. In Australia, we call them chemists, but over there they call them drugstores. She was there getting the morning after pill. She falls pregnant to, as she says, to Ken, and she's not in such a rush to go out and get the morning after pill then, but with Ryan, she is. That's why I think personally that Ryan is the father, and the fact that if it's I personally think she should have stayed not pregnant for about at least 2 years. I know she's getting on in years. I know that. But the thing is, though, I personally don't think that she should have gotten pregnant so quickly. I think that Ken was ready to leave, and that's why she got pregnant. But also, I could be wrong. I could be completely wrong, and I'm willing to accept that if I am. Very willing to accept that. And I apologize if I'm wrong. But the thing is, though, like I said, I think that Ken was ready to leave. And from the moment she started, like the fact that she's doing little things over time that she didn't think that Ryan would notice. And it's just like she found out that she even said, oh, well, Ken likes blondes and I'm a brunette. And then in the next episode or two, she's out there dyeing her hair or bleaching her hair blonde, which I personally think looks disgusting because, I'm a natural blonde. So, win-win. My point being is the fact that she is lower than low to do those kinds of things right under Ryan's nose. You know what I mean? Like to get her hair done and all that kind of crap. Because from the moment she found out that Ken was single, not talking to him at that point, supposedly, but what do you call it? She found out that Ken was single again. She was making arrangements to get her hair done. And from that moment on, she found out that Ken was single again. Even before Christy decided to tell her that he was asking about her and all that sort of shit. I personally think that she already checked out of her marriage at that point. I just think that she has a lot of growing up to do. I don't think she's mature enough to be a parent. Um, I think it's disgusting. Oh, just a heads up if there's people coming in. I've put my PayPal in my about like description of this channel, only because of the fact that I always do it, but I'm mentioning it just in case on the off chance there's anyone who wishes to donate. Please feel free to. If you don't, then that's fine too. But back to what I was talking about. It comes down to the bottom line is that if people want to think Gypsy Rose is this amazing person, you can live in that like little dome of weirdness. I just don't like her, and I never will. I'll never understand how she has able like she planned the murdering of her mother. Where is America thinking that it's okay to promote that? Like I was saying before, my mother and I never got along when I was a kid. Up until recently, we never got along. We'd be cordial with each other, but we wouldn't go and sit down and have a conversation like we can now. Like she'll ring me 3 or 4 times a day, which is amazing, and we'll talk like actual people talk. Whereas before it'd be just like I would never hear from her. She would never call me. But that in saying that, that doesn't mean that I'm going to go plan the unaliving of my mother. No fucking way. She's my mum. Regardless of how she treated me as a kid, regardless of how she treated me as a teenager, and all that sort of shit, I don't give a fuck. I would never hurt a hair on my mum's head. You know what I mean? And that's where she thinks it was okay because her mum was doing all these things to her. Well, here's the thing that I find very interesting, though, is the fact that you claim that your mum chained you to your bed. I don't believe that for 1 second. And she reckons that she had the chain link that her mum had with her. So every time she moved, because apparently, according to science, you toss and turn in your sleep quite a few times throughout the night. But every time she moved, her mum would know about it. But how is it that your mum was able to leave you alone, not tied up, in the lounge room the night before you had someone come into your home and kill her? Your mum's last words with you were, "Don't hurt me." Now, I don't know where that has come out and who has said that's what was said. Who knows? But if your mother had known you ran away twice before or once before, why would your mother let you sit up in bed and have you have free reign of the house, so to speak? I don't see how your mother would let you do that. I don't understand. Oh, man. I don't want any of that. Sorry. She said, I'm getting notifications telling me that I can get 20% off my next Shein order. Well, considering I've never placed one. Yeah, okay. But I get emails and bombarded with text messages from Shein. It's annoying. But anyway, long story short of things, I don't understand how she can see herself still as a victim, claim she never got any therapy while she was in jail, and all this kind of shit. I don't understand how she can think it's okay. I don't understand. And like I said, when Ryan tried to tell her taking care of a dog is a lot of responsibility and all this kind of stuff, and she goes, I know, don't talk to me like I'm an idiot. And it's just like, she goes, I had dogs when I was younger. But then when the dog got there, she's saying stuff like, I've never had a pet before. I didn't realize there's going to be so much responsibility. Are you fucking kidding me? Your husband just tried telling you, the previous episode or earlier in that episode, you're going to try and tell me that you had no idea it was going to be that much responsibility, but your husband was there trying to tell you that it was going to be a lot of responsibility. and you snapped at him and said that he made you feel like your mother made you feel. It's like you don't want to be associated with what happened with your mother, then stop taking money from news reporters, interviewers, whatever. Stop taking money from all of them and go get yourself a fucking job and fucking make money the proper way that people do. Now, I can't talk because I'm trying to make money here on YouTube, but very rarely do I do that. As in, very rarely do I make any money because I don't. Like, I'll walk away from today's live and I probably wouldn't have made a single cent, which is fine, I guess. My point being is that I don't understand how she can turn around and say, I want to stop being connected to what happened to my mother. Then here's an idea. When someone's trying to talk to you, okay, and try and offer you some advice, if instead of just coming out with, I don't like the way you're speaking to me, can you please actually speak to me in a more respectful manner? No, Gypsy won't use her maturity like that. Fuck no. She'll turn around and go, you're making me feel like my mother did. And it's like, are you fucking kidding me? And that is going to be the ace up Gypsy Rose's sleeve until the day she dies. I'm sorry, but it is. She is going to continue playing the victim card because she knows it gets a reaction. She reckons that she never got therapy in jail. Bullshit. Well, she might not have, but did she ever request it? Oh, she did, but it was rejected. Yeah, I'm starting to think that, she's full of shit. I've always thought that. Like, I want to see that documentary that she was made about the story, and it was called Mother Dearest or some shit. I want to see it, but I don't want to see it, if that makes sense. I've got no time for that little thing. I'll call her a thing because I don't understand. Can't wait to turn, like, if she did fall pregnant to Ryan at any point, couldn't wait to go get the morning after pill, making sure that pregnancy didn't take hold. But she finds out she's pregnant with Ken, and oh my god, she can't wait to have that child, you know what I mean? And that makes me quite sick. And from what I've heard, as in like on the documentaries and stuff, by the sounds of things, she was using Ryan for several reasons, but the main ones I can think of was A, so she had somewhere to go when she was going to be released from jail. Okay, that's the one reason. Two reason is because of the fact that, in my opinion, from what I heard on those live after lockup things, she spoke to Ken. I think it was about a day or two before her wedding, right? And asked him should she go through with it and all that kind of crap. Now the thing is, though, I personally also think that she married Ryan is because she wanted to make Ken jealous. Now, Ken had all the time in the world to tell his story about why he broke up with Gypsy, how Gypsy and Rose and him met, and all of that sort of shit while Gypsy was in jail. But he didn't do that. He waited until Gypsy was released. Notice that Gypsy was, I don't care if I get in trouble for this bit. Oh, I do care, but I don't. He waited until he saw what kind of money Gypsy was making before he reappeared in her life. Now, according to sources, I nearly said Dee Dee then. Christy, Gypsy's stepmom, was in contact with Ken throughout the whole time Gypsy was in jail. All right. She's the one that told Gypsy that Ken made contact, but Ken and her were always in touch. Thanks, Julie. Now, what makes me really angry, though, is the fact that if I found out, not that I have ever had a stepmother, but if I ever found out my stepmother was still in touch with the guy who broke my heart, right? I'd go fucking, well, I wouldn't say mental because we don't want to use the words like going mental because that sounds really disrespectful. Go crazy about it, but we can't say that because at the same time, Gypsy didn't seem too phased by it. Now, if my mum said, "Oh, you've just spent X amount of years in jail, blah blah, wants to speak to you," he reckons that he let you go because he wanted to do what was best for you. Now, personally, I think that if I was ever in jail, prison, take your pick, I personally think thanks, Jules. Julie, sorry. It's called you Jules, sorry. Um, I personally think that that's when I would want the support, a lot of the support. Knowing that I've got to stay good in jail, blah, blah, blah. There's someone outside there of the jail, of those walls waiting for me. So, you know what I mean? I would want someone there because it's like it's going to motivate me to be on my best behavior for a number of reasons. I think it's disgusting that Christy told Gypsy about being in touch with Ken still. I think that's absolutely disgusting. I'm not sure which part you agree with me on, Julie. Sorry, if you can be more specific on, because I'm talking quite quick here. I think that's absolutely disgusting. I don't think that it was actually right. And Ryan was saying that if something happens in his marriage, he's going to hold Christy responsible. I would too, because she had no right to keep in touch with Ken. None whatsoever. Unless she was doing something with Ken. As in, bow, chicka, wow. I don't think so, but you never know. Christy does a lot of things that are fucking weird lately. Like, I can't stand that whole crew people. I probably sound really mean and I sound insensitive. I should be supportive of, Gypsy Rose, sorry. Um, Instead of calling her Gypsy Rose, I'm just going to call her Cheapsy Nose. What do you reckon? But like I said, I've got no time for her. I was watching this thing with her. It came up when because as those who have TikTok, you go onto TikTok and for some reason live videos just play. You can't really go into a yes. Okay, thanks, Julie. Um, yeah, definitely used Ryan all the way. Now, what happened then is the fact that the other night I was watching, like I said, I went onto TikTok because TikTok has this one lady who's on there and she's from Australia and she does all these meals ideas and stuff and she gives me, and anyway, I watch those to give me ideas when I can actually do those sorts of things. I want to be able to do them. Now, Gypsy Rose was on there and she was talking about how, oh, I'm going to use this. She goes, oh, I don't want stretch marks. I've got them on my butt. Like, ew. But the thing is, though, and please, any woman that's listening or replay, please let me know if I'm wrong. If you become pregnant, aren't stretch marks just a given? Like, you can reduce them a bit, but aren't stretch marks just going to be there regardless because of how much your stomach stretches? I know, please tell me if I'm arrogant and a rude bitch or anything like that. Take your pick. It's not bothering me. But I don't think vitamin E cream is what's going to stop the stretch marks. I think you need like coconut oil or something like that to help. I don't actually know. But please let me know if stretch marks are a given during pregnancy because I'm pretty sure they are. And I don't think vitamin E cream is actually going to stop them from happening. Because, I'm just asking this because I don't want kids, so I don't think I'm asking because I'm curious. I'm just curious how she's adamant she doesn't want stretch marks, but won't she get them anyway because she's supposedly pregnant? And vitamin E cream will not prevent them. So please let me know if I'm right or if I'm wrong because I don't know. Like I said, I don't have kids. I've never had kids. I've never known. But moving on from the Gypsy Rose stuff completely, if that's okay. um, I went to the eye doctor at the hospital the other day, and it turns out that I am hoping they're right about this. I will have my new cornea well, I think that's in about 4 months' time. Fingers crossed. And at the end of the day, it comes down to that. Um, if I get, or when I get the corneal transplant, the stitches in the eye that they're going to do by replacing the cornea. I'm sorry if anyone out there is eating dinner or lunch as I just said that. But what's going to happen? Hang on. You can use stuff like castor oil put on your stomach. Um, the full time you're getting big, and you won't have but little stretch. Hang on, you won't have but little stretch mark. I know because first child. Oh shit! I'll be right back, guys. Sorry about that. I had a phone call. Um, hey, yeah. Oh, okay. Uh, yeah. So when I have the corneal transplant, what's going to have to happen is that um the stitches are going to have to stay in my eye. Oh, hey, Diane. The stitches are going to have to stay in there permanently instead of just like the 3 years like my previous one did. And that's going to suck balls because my eyes, regardless of anything, get very, very dry and very, very. Thank you for that information, Julie. I really appreciate that, sweetheart. Thank you. But she didn't put any on her stomach, and well, sorry, she did, but supposedly however many months she is, her belly button wasn't even looking like it was popping at all. It was just like a sunk, like an innie, like a hole there. There was no bulging out or anything. But anyway, moving on. From back to my corneal stuff. Yeah, I have to get that done, and then after that, what happens is that they're going to then go over to my right eye, and they're going to then stitch that one back down and keep those stitches in there. So I'm going to have stitches. I'm going to be stitches with the bitches. You know what I mean? Like I'm going to be bitching with the stitching. There you go. And it will hopefully clear up my vision a lot. And but the thing is though, between now and then I'm having to get, well, I've ordered, I should say, glasses, which is absolutely awesome. There's a pair that I've ordered that are going to be sunglasses, and there's a pair that's going to be just everyday wear. So I'm looking forward to that. I don't know when I'll be able to get them because of the fact that I ordered them on Friday, and I don't know how long that would be before they get back to me, sort of thing. So I'm looking forward to that. That's going to be fucking awesome. And even though my vision from about 2 years ago has cleared up a lot, it's still at times quite blurry. But apart, and my hands are still on the way to that. I just want to, you know, cut them off at times because they hurt so much. Like they hurt really badly at the moment, and it's making things extremely difficult to be able to, do the cooking, do the organising that I want to do, and all that kind of crap. It's doing, in all honesty, and I'm going to say it's right, it's doing my fucking head in. And I'm finding, like I said, just cutting up stuff to do food prep very difficult. I'm finding if it hadn't been for a friend of mine purchasing the cooking utensils with the soft grip, if it wasn't for those, I'd be screwed. But at times I even forget that I have them. Oh, It's a nightmare, Julie, trust me. So, the thing that upsets me more than anything about having the corneal transplant, like, don't get me wrong, I'm looking forward to being able to see better. But the thing that upsets me more than anything, knowing that when I get this new cornea, I'll be 98% me because there'll be 2% of me that's not, because I've already had my right eye done. And yeah, also, this is something that's going to freak everybody out. Okay, the cornea is like, I think they said, I don't want to give the exact measurements because I'm way wrong, but let's just say it's 10 something. I think it's like 10 millimeters or something. A cornea is. Now supposedly they've then got to cut that down to 8 millimeters, I think he said, because if they put the whole 10 millimeters straight over my pupil, my eye will gradually die. Oh, my hands are still in pain. I can't do the basic of things that I want to do. Like, I want to do meal prep this week, but with the way my hands are at the moment, it's basically cook for myself or go hungry at times. And that's why, as much as it sounds pathetic, that's why sometimes I do. For those out there who wonder, why does she mention her pain power so often? That's why, because when I'm in pain, I don't want my viewers to think that, oh, she's in pain, she's doing it for drama. But it's because I don't have the energy to cook anything that day. So I'm hoping that someone does put something in there so I could order something and I don't have to cook, or try to cook, I should say. But it happens. But long story short of things, like I said, what they do is that it's like let's just say the cornea itself is 10 millimeters. Okay. They've got to cut that down to 8, because if they put that whole 10 millimeters straight over my pupil, according to the specialist that I saw the other day, my eye will slowly but surely die. And I don't understand how that happens, but I'm going to ask more details when I go back and see him again soon. So yeah, they have to cut it down to the right size, and then what happens is that the stitches obviously hold that new cornea in place, and because of the fact that the way the cornea is going to be placed these days, they then have to look at it and go, okay, the stitches have to stay in her eye permanently. So I now have to start training my brain how to I can't rub my eyes, because if I do, the stitches could irritate and they could come loose. Um, If you want to know what the stitches from a corneal transplant look like, go to Google or Safari, whichever phone you have or computer, type in corneal transplant stitches, and it is fucking awesome. But I don't like the thought of, I hate things in my eyes, and apparently because of that factor, I don't. Yeah, what's wrong with not being rude, Julie? If it's too noisy, just don't answer it. But why does your mum need shots in her eyes? Because that's yeah. I'm lucky I just use drops. So that's easy. But the thing I love most about the drops I'm on now, is a Hyalofort, and I finally got the name right. And it's a little bottle that, instead of just trying to squeeze like a drop bottle, you just then push at the bottom and it releases the drops you need. So I am hoping that, I don't need shots in my eyes. I don't want that. No. But at the end of the day, whatever needs to happen. But I just hope it's not that. But yeah. So why does your mum? Yeah, your mum needs shots in it. Your mom. I love the way Americans spell mum. Like, over here in Australia, we spell it mum, M-U-M. In America, it's mom. It's M-O-M. Mom. Mom. All right, it's cool. But like I said, I'm nervous as hell with it. I'm scared, like I was last time. I don't know what's happening with my hands. Every time I go to my doctor about it, it's just sort of like, kind of like, why bother? You know what I mean? It's just like, oh, well, it's basically like going to somebody with a nosebleed and say it's still bleeding. Welcome back, Jodie. I didn't even know you left, sweetheart, but thank you. Thank you for coming back. It just comes down to the fact that, like I said, I am looking forward to the corneal transplant. I'm looking forward to hopefully something being done about my fucking hands. And if nothing gets done about my hands, at least like it's basically okay. How can I best describe the pain feels like? Okay, the best way to describe it is that imagine okay for the people in Australia, imagine the fact that you're you sit on your hand for a long period of time and it goes numb. That's what it feels like with that. Yeah, Elvis used to give himself cortisone, I think it was, injections into his eyes, so his eyes stayed like more or less wide open. I don't know. Oh, no worries, Jody. Um, feel free to come here and vacuum my house and clean my house. I'm kidding. No, what was I saying? Yeah, it comes down to that your hand's really numb. Or imagine going out on a really, really, really cold day and you forget your gloves and your hands go numb because they're so cold. Basically, that's what my hands feel like pretty much all the time. And if I want to try, it's like I said before, it's basically meal prep, cook with pain or go hungry. And I've been doing that quite a bit lately, just going hungry because I can't grip a knife to cut anything. I can't see the stuff properly to be able to know what I'm cutting up. And it might sound weird, but it's incredibly frustrating because a lot of people don't get carpal tunnel pain. People don't get what it's like to have astigmatism. Like, I've got drops, they help amazingly well. But what I'm getting at though is that it's frustrating because of the fact that there's things that I can't do for myself that I would give just about anything to be able to do for myself. You know what I mean? And I can't because I just can't. Simple as that. It's not because I don't want to, it's because I physically can't. And there are people out there who think that it's easy. It's not. I have tried with NDIS and all that sort of stuff, but because my issues aren't permanent, um, the likelihood of me getting on NDIS is as likely as me making $100 before this live ends. Very, 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 very unlikely. Like, I just find it frustrating. I get very upset. And the thing I hate more than anything, though, is that when people try and tell me it gets better, no, it doesn't actually. And for people who want to think it does, then that's fine. You can think that. But I'm telling you, from someone who suffers from these issues, I've been dealing with it for about 3 years. There was a time when there's times now when I wake up in the morning and I'm getting a wake up call from my brother or my mum or anything like that, and both of my hands are numb. So I can't actually pick up my phone and swipe left or swipe right, whatever it is, to answer the call. I can't actually do that. So I have to actually like wake up, try and this is what hurts more than anything is that when I try and like my hand will be open, I'll try and close it and open it and close it just to give it some circulation. And that takes about half an hour to do because it's so painful. And the worst thing about it though is the fact that people go, "Oh, what have you been doing all day?" I'm like, "Well, there's nothing I can do at the moment. Like all day today, I've been in so much pain that I can't do anything. I've been trying to ring you. Have you? That's wonderful. Well, then how's this sound? If I don't answer by the third or fourth phone call, maybe come visit me. Just saying. Maybe get off your keister and go, oh, maybe something's wrong with Tammy. Maybe I should go see if she's okay. Instead of giving me the third degree. And Julie, and because you've been an amazing help. Hang on one sec. I've got to do something. I'll be right back, guys. Okay, I'm back. Hey, Ink, long time no see, my dear. Julie, type in chat. But like I said, I'm trying my hardest just to make sure that I do everything I humanly possibly can just to ignore the pain. But it, like I said, is extremely, extremely, extremely difficult. In a lot of pain. But I'll survive. I always do. But thank you everyone that's been in here so far. How are you though, Ink? How's everything? I won't be on here much longer because I've got to go and do a few things, or attempt to do a few things, I should say. But yeah. Thank you for all your help, by the way, Julie. I really do appreciate your help. It means, sincerely, it means a lot that you've helped me with things that I was getting stumped on, things that you've agreed with that I've said. Thank you. It does. And just know that you don't have to agree with me. It's all good. You're good. I'm glad to hear that. I'm glad to hear that you're good. That makes me very, very happy to hear that. But like I said, I'm hoping that when I have this issue sorted with my eyes, I'm hoping. Surprise! Welcome to the crew, Julie. You're part of the mod crew. You know, I just want this pain just to fuck off. Because there's nothing, like I said, there's nothing worse than when, like today, I want to make my beef stroganoff so badly, just so that I've got that for today and tomorrow, you know. And you did too. Oh, you did. Thanks. What? What? I just I just want one day, well, actually forever, for people that are going through pain to not be in pain. And it just sucks. And for those who don't, like I said, for those who don't understand the pain, Julie, do you notice that you've got a wrench now? By any chance? Did you notice that? Um, sorry, I'm being selfish by saying it like that. Um, it comes down to, like I said, you know, like when you can't do the basic of things, it sucks because you try and explain it to somebody who's never experienced those kinds of pains, you know, and people sit back, whether it's on the internet or in person. It comes down to it comes down to the fact that because of the pain I go through, I can't explain. Like, I'm not. Please do not take this as being a bitch. It's like me trying to explain to Julie or Jody or Ink or anyone else in here. And okay, I'll say all the names that are in here, which is Aunt Diane, Jody, Julie, and Ink and all that sort of stuff. That's like, oh, okay, thank you. What I'm saying is the fact that, like I said, I can't explain to the person who has really awesome neighbours what it's like to have an arsehole neighbour. I can't explain to somebody what it's like to have nights where you lie awake at night because you're so. It's who I am, Mink. You know that. You've known me since day dot, sweetheart. You know I'm a bitch. Oh, okay. I get it now. Okay, okay, okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah. No worries. But like I said, it's just oh, it's like I did. Thanks, hon. Okay, yep, sorry. I was reading it like I did, thanks, hon. Like, what the hell? But like I said, I can't explain to the person next to me, even if they have the same issues with their hands, I can't explain my pain to them. You know what I mean? I can't explain what it feels like to not be able to see properly to somebody who can see perfectly well. So, oh well. Oh, but like I said, Ink, I can't help but be a bitch. It's who I am. All right, guys, I've got to go because I've got to go and try and make something to eat. And I mean, try. I bought one of those microwavable toasty machines, toasty things, and they're good if all you want in your toasty is cheese. They're great. But I actually like to put, a few slices of cheese, a few slices of ham or something like that. But yeah, it's a pain in the ass. So what I've got to try and do is I've got to go and try and find my flat toasty machine and try and use that. Or I might use my air fryer. Does anybody know how to make a toasty in an air fryer? I think it'd pretty much be the same way you'd make it in a toasty machine. Time will tell. All right, guys. But like I said, if you want to donate to help me out so I can order something in, because I'm in so much fucking pain, then by all means, feel free. The PayPal link is in the description. But if you don't want to, that's completely fine. I'm not going to be offended. It takes a lot to offend me. Oh, then Ink, you should go back and listen to the live when I was bitching about Gypsy Nose. Nothing. Yeah, that's the best way to do it, Julie, to live alone with your own pain. I'm just saying because that's what I do. I live alone and I have to go through my own pain, my own battles, and like, don't get me wrong, my little brother, he's a sweetheart and I love him a bit. So if you ever have to listen to this replay, Andy, I love you. Mum, thanks for you being you and love you too. But what I'm saying is Andy helps me a lot, but I hate being reliant on my little brother. I hate it. He might think I love spending time with him. But yeah, I hate being reliant on my brother for any kind of help. It sucks. All right, guys, like I said, I've got to go try and make something to eat. I'll talk to you all soon. And I'll probably be back in the next, like I said in the beginning of the live, I will hopefully be up for it. I'll be doing an Elvis one on the 16th of August, which supposedly commemorates the anniversary of Elvis's death. So please feel free to tune in. I might do like a little mini quiz. There'll be lots and lots and lots of non-prizes. So if you are wanting to be here, please get your Elvis knowledge up because I will be doing that, but I'll be having the people who want to participate in the quiz on panel with me. Instead of doing it in chat, I'll be having people on panel. So that'll be something different. All right, guys. So keep the 16th of August free. I don't know what time I'll go live yet, but I'll organise it in my head later and then put the link up for it. So make sure you get all your Elvis knowledge happening because you never know. Something that you find out might actually be one of the questions I ask. All right, guys. Take care of yourselves. Be good. Be kind. Help those who need help if you can, even if it's just helping someone across the street, even if it's just throwing back a ball over the fence to the neighbor kids. Be nice. Don't be like me and be an asshole. But I'll be back. All right, 16th of August. Don't know time yet, but I'll make sure I do an Elvis live. All right, guys. All of you take care of yourselves. Be good, be kind. And thank you so much to Julie. Thank you to Ink. Thank you to Jody. Thank you to Diane, or Aunt Diane, sorry. Thank you all so much for being in here and supporting me, even though I went on a bit of a tangent there. But like I said, all of you take care of yourself. Be good, be kind. And later, y'all. Till next time. Good afternoon, good evening, and good night. Bye.